When President-elect Barack Obama takes office on January 20th, he'll also be confronted with several other issues. Three main issues: education, energy, and taxes. Here with some advice this morning is John Pickerton. He's the CEO of the oil and gas company Range Resources. Gordon Gee is the president of Ohio State University. And Roni Duetch is the CEO of the Roni Duetch Tax Center. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. John, let me first start with you on energy. What does he need to do to demonstrate that he is behind some of these alternative initiatives that he's been talking about in this platform for the past couple of years?
Great question, Alexis. The transportation system in the United States is run 90% off crude oil. The only problem is we don't have any crude oil left, and we have to get it all from the Middle East. So what we need is a administration that really understands our industry. The good news, though, is we've got lots of natural gas. It's abundant. It's 50% cheaper than crude oil, and it only has 90% less of the carbon footprint. So we've got some great opportunities. So we need an administration that really encourages the exploration and development of natural gas in the United States, and then obviously the conversion of our transportation fleet to CNG versus crude oil.
Gordon, you watched last night's election, or you watched the coverage, I'm sure. I know we're at Ohio State University with you guys. How important is the message that he sends for the education community, what he's going to do for kids out there?
Well, I think it's incredibly important. This is a transformative time in this country, and of course, education is at the center of this. I would make 2 points to the president-elect. One is the fact that the economic engine that will fuel this nation is our intellectual capacity. We are now clearly in this century moving from a hardware to a knowledge-based economy, and our universities now become the smokestack industries of this century. So he has to focus on that. He has to focus on making education affordable and available, and also he has to focus on rebuilding our intellectual infrastructure. The issue of support for the National Institutes of Health, the National Science Foundation, our ability to be able to compete in the world are going to be very high issues or agenda issues for him to tackle.
Gordon, I imagine, given the current climate, though, that he's got a difficult task, because when you look at the individual municipalities, individual states right now, they're not in terrific health. In fact, according to a recent report by Moody's, as many as 30 states are in a recession, 17 are at risk of recession. What does that do to the funding that you so desperately need for these public universities?
Well, you know, obviously, it's very important for us to make certain that our state leadership, and certainly that has been the case in Ohio. We have a governor who's very supportive of higher education. They understand that in their prioritization, that education, higher and public education, has to be a significant priority, because we will be the engine that will drive this economy and bring us back into a more full employment status. And also, But what the president-elect can do is he can deregulate some of the kinds of burdensome issues facing higher education. Also, we do need to have that kind of support for the intellectual infrastructure in this country, which is enormous.